Head versus heart. Logical reasoning versus emotional intuition. Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Today I'll be talking about a decision making dilemma that I, and probably many of you, deal with all the time. Should we follow our hearts or our heads? As young adults, we're constantly making decisions about our futures, relationships, careers, and those choices often pull us in two different directions. My goal today is to explore how emotions and logic interact in decision making and how we might learn to balance them more efficiently. Versus emotion. My topic is based around the dilemma of making decisions based on what the heart desires or what the mind regards as better. This topic correlates with my life mostly on a daily basis, especially in instances when I have to make dire choices. I've had instances in my life where I believed acting emotionally during situations was better, but was proven wrong. I wanted to figure out which option or mental pathway is better for a person. On the other hand, if I needed to use both emotion and logic, in what ways would I be able to efficiently incorporate both? My topic is also centered around young adults, since they are the generation who are most likely to face important decisions in life. The importance or relevance to everyday life. This dilemma is actually a really big deal. The decisions we make now shape our relationships, careers, and even our happiness later on. Plus, this question, head versus heart, is something people have debated for centuries, but we still don't have one clear answer. Or do we? Understanding the brain of a young adult. The way our brains are wired plays a huge role in why we often feel torn between emotion and logic. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, aka one of my sources, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that helps people think ahead and weigh consequences, is still developing in young people. Meanwhile, the limbic system, which handles emotions, is fully active. This is why our feelings sometimes overpower our reasoning. So it's not just us being dramatic, it's biology. What do young adults think of this dilemma? Upon receiving results from about 22 people, I observed that 15 chose logic while the other 7 went with emotion. It was interesting to see what my fellow peers thought about this topic. I would expand in my thoughts about this survey in the slides to come. Emotional intuition, aka following your heart. Following your heart can be powerful because it connects to your experiences and your values. It means going with what feels right emotionally. This can be powerful, especially when it aligns with your core values. Psychology Today, also one of my article sources, says following your heart allows you to stay true to yourself and make decisions that align with your personal values and passions. The emotional clarity can help you act fast and feel confident, but it has a downside. Emotional choices can be impulsive and short sighted, especially when you're stressed or overwhelmed. It can lead to quick decisions that feel right and might not consider the bigger picture, like long term effects. I'll give an example. Let's say you're invited to attend a university across the country. Logically, staying closer to home might make more financial and practical sense. It's cheaper, more familiar, and you'd have your support system nearby. But your heart is telling you to take the leap and go to the out of state school because it feels like an exciting opportunity for growth and independence. If you follow your heart, you might end up loving the experience and learning a lot about yourself. But there's also a chance the emotional decision could bring homesickness or unexpected stress. So it's important to weigh both sides before jumping in. Logical reasoning, aka following your head. On the flip side, following your head usually means you're thinking through things logically and avoiding impulsive mistakes. It's great for planning and making smart choices, but if you only use logic, you might overthink everything or miss out on emotional satisfaction. An example where logic might fail is when choosing a career path. An instance is when someone logically picks a job because it pays well and has great job security, like becoming an accountant. But deep down, they've always loved working with kids and dreamed of being a teacher. Even though they made the smart choice, they might end up feeling unfulfilled and unhappy because their emotional needs for passion and purpose were not met. The science of decision making. Research indicates that the best decisions often result from a balance between both emotion and logic. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio's work suggests that emotions play a critical role in decision making by helping us evaluate options and foresee outcomes. Ignoring emotional input can lead to poor choices, even when logic is applied. Using both approaches. So, the best approach might actually be using both head and heart together. You can pause and really ask yourself two things. What's the smartest thing to do? And how will I feel about this later? Tools like journaling, talking with trusted people, and mindfulness can help combine both sides. Also, continuing to ask the participators of my server how they make decisions, most said that even though they lean towards being logical, emotions sneak in. They still sneak in. This is especially with relationships and career choices. It's clear that even when we want to be rational, feelings play a big role. So, continuing on my survey observation, what stood out to me wasn't just the numbers, but the reasoning behind their answers. Most people, they talked as if they had to choose either logic or emotion, like the two couldn't coexist in making a good decision. This sent me into deep thought. I realized that in our everyday world, when faced with decisions, we mostly believe that we have two choices, being logical or emotional. However, when actually formulating our solutions, we unconsciously turn to incorporating both perspectives. All in all, we really don't have a definitive pathway to take because emotion and logic are not entirely opposed to each other. In fact, neuroscience shows that emotion and logic are deeply connected in the brain. Emotions give us a sense of meaning and urgency, while logic helps us process and act on that information. So instead of choosing one, we should learn how to let them work together. Decisions that respect both our feelings and our reasoning tend to be more balanced, sustainable, and authentic. Key takeaways. To sum it all up, emotions aren't bad, and logic isn't perfect either. The best decisions usually happen when we balance both. It's normal at our age to be figuring it out because our brains are literally still wiring themselves for complex decision making. That's all for today. Bye.